Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to the University of Essex Anime and Manga Society, the last podcast of the term.
Great.
Oh
man.
yeah.
Finally.
We've reached the point. Finally!
There's always one guy.
I'll always just ditch you now. No
We'll see you next
obligation.
week.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But I think you mean next term, but
Yeah,
Next
yeah,
term,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
It'll be next week for us. So
with our uploading.
That's a fair.
see you in the next century, people.
You may see
Oh,
us at
gosh.
some point in time.
Hey.
Let's not, hold ourselves to a rule that we can't keep.
Yes, yes. And if we're crying, let's just say we're all crying here. You just can't see
We're
it.
gonna miss you guys
Yeah.
so much.
My
Yeah.
tears getting all over the microphone.
Yeah, it's started to crackle. Might be a bit dangerous. Electrical fire over there.
That's all we need
Yeah.
to break everything on the last podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, we're done recording now. By the way, Pete, we've wrecked everything by crying.
Don't worry, I think it's all
Thankfully,
short
we
for
haven't
the
broken anything yet.
Yes.
I mean,
No.
we did a solid on the microphone.
No,
last-
no,
That
no,
wasn't us.
we
That
didn't.
wasn't us. That wasn't us.
That
We're
was
innocent.
the other guys.
We take the blame
Yeah.
if we were present. That's
Yes.
how anime goes.
Yeah. Wait, what?
That's not how it works, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's not even logic doesn't matter. If you were present when something went wrong, you were obviously responsible for it.
Especially if you're a teenage boy interacting with teenage girls.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the accuser is in love with you but just doesn't want to say so.
And I will be talking about that very, very soon.
Okay, so I suppose we should start with introductions.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I am Cameron Hayden, El Presidente, your master mic guy for this evening. And I haven't said anything before. I don't know what I usually say in this segment again.
It's been so long.
Normally
Yeah.
something offensive.
Yeah,
and
true.
Egregious.
Hey, hey. I'm a nice guy.
I've seen no evidence of this. But okay.
Yeah.
I'm Daniel, tropes nerd.
Nerd.
I need no introductions.
Yeah, you damn
Yeah, you do. Just
I
gave
now
one.
have an apprentice.
Oh.
Hello, I'm Tim. You remember me from last week. I'm the philosophical one, and for this week only, I'm Dan's assistant.
Yep.
This week,
Apprentice
We pay him
of
minimum
adults.
wage.
Thank you.
it's better
And
than
we pay you
Apprentice
nothing.
minimum
it's better
wage.
than the rest of us who get paid nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all volunteering work. With that said, volunteer here, Nathan Ambry, and I think generally the guy who knows all the non-mainstream anime and doesn't know the mainstream
Yes.
ones.
I'm Other Cameron, recently freed from the cloying grip of exams,
As am I.
and resident constant watcher to keep up to make sure I don't get behind. I need to stay on top.
And our backbenchers backbench podcasters for today. Do they want to
Welcome.
introduce themselves?
Okay, we have.
Okay, that's Vera's introduction.
Vera, that's nice introduction.
And I am Jack.
Oh.
Hey,
Thank you.
Yes.
I have appeared.
you're here.
Yes.
Welcome.
It's great to be here, I guess.
Yeah.
You're damn right it is.
And
This
you're
is
here
an
willingly,
awards
you're not
Yeah.
a hostage.
And remember,
Just,
he's
you know.
definitely not a hostage because he has Steins Gate on his shirt, so
We're no-
he's an
we're
anime
no-
fan.
We're no longer allowed to take any hostages.
What?
As per as
That's
per
that's just
society
under.
rules.
I thought that was under American jurisdiction. We're still good, you know.
No,
They negotiate here, right?
I think after the police talked to us that one time, we
Yeah.
just sort of had to give it.
after
Talk.
Spoke to you.
Oh, you weren't here.
after the Pokemon
Cameron
Yeah.
Sass, the
Pokemon
police
hostage
officer,
incident.
was arrested.
Yeah. So no one was arrested. No one has a criminal record. If you watch the
Yet.
where you going, Jack?
It's
Boy, lost the
closing
guy.
the door. It's closing the door.
Yeah,
Okay,
The
okay.
lock was intact. It was fine.
Yes. No breaking and entry today.
Okay.
And can we
Oh.
keep the rest of our insanity for the next 2 hours?
Insanity?
Or-
Oh.
It's gonna be fun.
Right.
So, segments. Who's
Yes.
doing what?
Well, I'm going to be talking about the fascination with 2D and 3D girlfriends in Japan. You know.
2D
And how-
waifus.
Yes.
I have a question.
What's that, Jack?
Why?
That's an important
That is
question,
a
Jack.
good
The question is not why, but why not?
Yeah.
That is also a good
But
response.
I'll link it to. Do you remember? There's an anime that's come out this season, which
Oh.
is about. Go on.
Is this the one about the guy who meets the girl online?
Yes.
Yeah, the one which you still can't remember the name of, Nesoge.
That's the game.
We've got someone who remembers it.
I'm terrible at remembering Japanese anime names. It's why I must. Well, I hope I can remember the English title.
Fair enough.
But yes.
Well, the English title, or at least the official one, is really bad.
Yeah.
Like,
What is
doesn't
it?
Actually, okay. The official English title is like, and you thought there wasn't a girl online?
That's almost as
But
bad
a
as
Oh,
better
gosh.
translation of both the
place.
title and summarizing what it's trying to say is, and you thought there were no girls online.
Oh. Hello! Just in time for introductions, we have Lang, another person. Do you want to introduce yourself, Lang?
Just got my debit card stolen.
Oh.
Why are you all laughing at that?
It was the juxtaposition between the very normal conversation and then just like,
Relatively normal. Okay.
Oh,
and it's like, yeah, that happened.
I'm sorry for you, Lang. Sorry for your
sorry.
loss.
But I know who did it, and do not trust a guy called Michael Hong of comics. So yeah.
Yeah, we've learned who is.
Life
Don't worry.
lessons to-
Remember,
to
we
live
already
by.
have that police number we can call.
You mean you have that number?
No
Okay.
witch hunt, then
I will
no
tell you.
lies.
Do you know
I've
what?
not read it.
If you don't know, I can give you another emergency number. So if you're in any countries, you know 999 is the emergency number here.
I think we've
It
gone way
is.
off track.
Yes. The international emergency number that you can call in any country that'll put you straight through the emergency services is 112. Doesn't matter where you are, 112.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know.
Alright.
Learn that on the first aid
Dan,
course.
what are
Good
you
to-
doing
good to
this
know.
week?
Yeah.
This week I will be.
What are you and Tim talking about this week?
Yep, this week we will be conclude. Yeah, don't ship it.
I
That's-
Seriously.
I
Vera?
Okay, well, because
Okay.
everyone else is in laughing fits, because this is not
Yes.
a topic for laughing fits, we're talking about the yandere.
I think it can be funny.
They're hilarious. Women that may want to kill you.
Because they love
Eventually.
you.
How in the name of whatever sanity they have is that hilarious?
Because it
Well,
happens in daily
When a
life.
man and a woman
Also,
love
I'm
each
not
other
a
very
girl, but I'll
much.
be
One threatens to kill the other.
They
It's
don't
called marriage.
when a man and a woman love each other very much, they don't have sex, one of them kills the other
Yeah.
one. That's
Yeah.
how babies
But
are
they
made.
get married first because that's what Jesus
Yeah.
wants.
That's what Jesus would want you to do.
Please don't
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah, so
So that's what we'll be doing. Nathan?
yeah, all right. Going on to me, I will be talking about animation soundtracks, sort of in general, and just going wherever the discussion goes.
Oh,
from
guys,
there.
I forgot to press the button. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
I was literally about to get her.
I had my gated silence there, but just sort of
I
like.
have a pen. I have a pen. I will.
Yandere!
I will go all John Wick on your
I can
ass.
beat him with my bare fists. He knows this.
So you're
Yes,
both
and
gonna
then
go
handing it
berserk
over to
jelly on
Cameron
his
to-
ass.
Oh.
Me. Well, because we won't have another show for
Yeah.
quite some time, and by that point I'll be basically considering what shows are my favorite of the entire year. This episode we dedicated to what I think were my favorite shows of the block, and only encapsulate shows that I have watched. So if you have other opinions, it's probably because I haven't watched them.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you haven't watched, why did you say this show? It's probably because I haven't watched it, because there's a lot to catch up on, a lot to watch, and I have very limited time. But, so I'll be talking about what I think was the best shows of the block.
Now you know how I feel.
Yeah, God,
That's how pretty much we all feel.
feel the pain.
Yeah.
The
The pain of having to
suffering.
work for a living instead of watching anime all day.
Oh, that reminds me, World of Warcraft movies come out, isn't it?
I cannot believe WoW is still popular to warrant a movie.
You!
World of Warcraft.
Next World of Warcraft animated movie.
Octodon.
That
I
sounds...
haven't heard that since I was about 15.
I never played World of Warcraft.
You didn't miss much.
You missed out on classic Burning Crusade / Wrath of the
You
Lich King
missed out
raiding.
on classic anti-horde
You also
propaganda.
missed out on Cataclysm, which was decent, and
Yeah.
then you could have skipped Warlords of Draenor. So.
Some of
I
those
did.
words were English.
Huh?
Some of those words were English.
Yeah,
Some of those ones-
Lich King?
Some of those will mean
They're
many
all
things.
expansion packs.
Oh,
World
yeah.
of
Yeah,
Warcraft,
can we
in
just
case you
ditch
don't know.
WoW now,
Sorry.
please? I'm begging you.
Sorry.
Just don't.
We could talk about the old gods.
It's my glory days. Oh, sorry, that will
Yeah.
lead me into Houghton. You can go for ages. No, let's move on. Let's move on.
Yes,
We have
yes.
segments to get through.
Yep.
I guess who's kicking us off? Is it?
You,
You,
Normally
because
always-
you always...
Yes.
Should we mention news? Do we have news?
I've got the only news I have is things that have finished in this block have already been greenlit, and I'm shocked and amazed.
Yep.
I have news.
Oh, okay.
For those of you who have a UK Netflix account, they
Yes.
just recently put Dubarara on it.
Hey!
Yes, Dubarara is now on Netflix.
This is the best news
Yes.
I've heard all week.
all the current seasons or just season 1?
Just season 1,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Oh, that's a shame.
Okay, I'll give some society news. This will come out way after this, by the way. But we have the anime and manga session is on tonight.
Oh, okay.
So it's
I
Thursday.
I can't attend. I'm going out for dinner tonight.
Did you even go to the poll that I made on Facebook? No, you didn't. And if you did, you didn't vote.
I knew it was
God.
there. and I
Basically,
didn't
there was
vote.
there was a poll
I'm
on
guilty.
Facebook.
I saw.
I'm very
Yeah.
guilty of not voting on the poll because I didn't really care.
Damn it, man! I hope you voted in the NUS referendum.
I couldn't have voted because regardless, I wouldn't have been able to attend, so I didn't feel like it affected me.
I can attend, but I should
Why
probably
not?
be packing.
Because I won't be there for either of them.
Look, a lot of people vote for general
won't be there
elections and
tonight,
they know a
won't be there
lot less
tomorrow.
about what they're voting for. I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
It does not affect me.
The average
Fine, fine.
UKipper.
Okay, there's an argument happening off screen there between the democratic powers that be. But basically, yeah, there's an anime manga session tonight to make up for the one that we can't have tomorrow because of the end.
Of Evangelion.
I was like saying, why would they call it the end? It makes it sound like we're having the apocalypse.
Oh, no, I'm
Yeah.
thinking of NXT.
Well, it's meant to be
the
like
ending
the
of
exams have
Yes.
ended, and it's originally actually it just started out as a social thing. So a couple of students gathered together on campus and were drinking to celebrate the fact the exams ended. And then more students thought that was a good idea, and then thousands of students thought it was a good idea.
And then decided to monetize it.
Yes. Well, you don't
That's
pay
what
to go
the
in.
answer
To be
is.
honest,
But
I'm
yeah.
more surprised that it wasn't just a thing that everybody did. I mean,
Yeah. Well, that's what it
I
became.
think everybody wants to celebrate after they don't
No, but
have
I
to
think
worry
I
about
think
Yeah.
they did it in the comfort of their own homes, my friend, in house parties. They didn't necessarily congregate on the squares.
And
or
that's-
whatever, so-
And we're going back to that for the summer ball, which is part of the second bit of news. So it's the again. This will come out after this has happened.
Why are you wasting time saying it?
You don't need to
It's
mention it
important
there. We
news.
don't want
Limited
Not important.
budget.
We've got a limited time.
Okay, so we've got like
Cameron, breaking news, breaking news.
What's
Hitler
that?
has invaded Belgium.
what? No!
And
It's been
Poland.
how many years? Lang's going out to deal with this outside. He's fencing with the windows to
He's
try and
looking
fight
for
his way
signal.
into.
He's looking for signal.
Yeah,
I thought it was communicating with alien life. Okay.
they're very similar when you're looking for Wi-Fi. I mean, it is the
This-
Lord that
this
be.
is true.
Do you remember we got the Wi-Fi god
Yeah.
shrine outside?
Yeah, you haven't lived, so
Yeah.
you tried looking for
It's,
Wi-Fi.
he's
now.
still looking.
Good
So it feels like an
times.
old man. Okay, he's going out in the end.
Oh, he's leaving.
But yeah, basically we've got the anti-summer ball, which Lil J here is
I've been forced
sponsor.
into hosting.
Yes, I wouldn't. Force is a very strong word. More name was put down without consent.
That's even
Yeah.
worse.
That sounds like
really.
being
Difference is
forced to
one is
me.
legally enforceable.
Well, we're all members of the same society. All our homes are everyone's homes.
All right, I'm
Well, like
crashing.
Jehovah's.
So now we're a communist commonwealth.
You're crashing my home. Sure.
That's
Okay.
done.
You forget Cameron has no boundaries.
Why would you choose him? Like, of all the people.
Because I'm the most likely to say yes.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Are you even coming out of there?
Coming out alive. I'm a
Anyway,
great
this
cook.
news, what is it?
Okay, so the
Enlighten
other news we still. What's that? Oh, the
Oh,
news. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
So we've got anti-summer ball basically at Jack's. What I'm saying there, that's going to be 6 going on. That's on Saturdays. That's for people who aren't going to the normal summer ball, which costs 50 quid. So they're going to our anti one. And then there's next week we have the anime bake off as well, isn't it?
And the picnic.
And the picnic.
I've never been to an anime picnic. So
What's our dates,
I will
Vera?
not be able to attend.
Yeah, 7th and 8th.
7th and 8th of June. So you want to come down for those. More on that is in the emails that Vera kindly sends out on the Facebook. Which has put
every
up.
time we compliment you, always do the same pose. So it's like,
Oh wow. Yeah.
Just get blown back by the compliments.
Yes. But yeah, so Vera's wonderful emails that we have that are sent out weekly. Thank you, Vera. The Facebook events that have been put up by Hal, and some of I've put up like the SU event things, I think. So there's that stuff. So you've found it all on there, and we're now mentioning it. So
Yeah, so no excuses for not turning up.
yeah.
And that's
Stop Ric Flairing.
Sorry.
So now
Oh.
we've had
Like
our
a bit
fill in
mean
for
now.
not actually
Yeah, pretty
having that
much.
much
If we keep
real
doing it,
anime
yes.
news.
Yeah. Society plugin. Oh, and the mini cons obviously next year. There you go.
Can
Are
I?
you done?
Can I,
Calm down
can
right
I
now.
start now?
Yeah.
Yeah, she can start.
We
You can
are
start.
kind of burning daylight, so let's do this.
Right. Okay. So,
that bright today.
like I
It's
said,
Britain.
The
I'll
sun's
take
coming
what I
out.
can get.
Yeah.
this is the best of the block. So this covers spring 2016.
You.
So I'll preface this with the same thing I said. So it only applies to shows I've watched. So if your favorite,
Kajawani.
if your show hasn't been watched, it will not appear on my list.
Doesn't matter. Kajawani.
There was I
Oh my god.
I was
Dare you?
I was gonna do more. So shit.
Well, he is a backbench
I was
podcaster.
gonna do more shows, but
Mm.
I realized I was writing out I was gonna do 10, but I realized there weren't enough shows to populate that list, so I went down to 5
Yeah.
with a few honorable mentions that I think deserve a bit more credit, but some of the things were a bit about them. They're
Yeah.
just not as good. So I'll just kick right off. So the number one show for me on this list was a show that I came into very, very late. By the time I watched it, I'd already declared I thought Kiznaiva was the best show. And then And then this show came along, and gave
Yeah.
me a kick in the nuts and said, "Nah, mate, I'm the best show of the block, and it's damn right." And the show is
All out rugby game.
The show is no, it's not even out yet. And that show is RE0.
Yeah.
RE0 does the reason this and is the top because it's another excellent character show, which plays on the fantasy world, going into a fantasy world stereotype with excellent comedy, excellent characterization, and actually, when I think about it now, like it has a load of visual flair, and I was also shocked by how violent it was. Like it's like, oh, it seems quite nice and cutesy. Well, not cutesy, nice and like very, very, very beautiful. And then like violence happens, and it's serious. And they do a very excellent job of making like everything every moment for the main character matter. Because the whole crux of the plot is he goes into fantasy world and he finds out he has an ability called Return by Death, which essentially is like the Edge of Tomorrow mechanic where he dies and he goes back to a certain point and relives.
That's
the day.
cheating. What's this? That's just a literal game.
But
What's that?
It's not a game. It's actually fantasy world. It's just a thing he has, and you find out that it's possibly linked to a very despised witch within
Prince
the
of
realm, but you don't
Persia.
know why. And it's
Prince
kind
of Persia.
no, there's no dagger. For God's sake! There ain't no dagger.
Can I impose a rule,
What's
please?
that?
No references unless they are anime related.
They were animated. There's animated game design.
It doesn't qualify.
Japanese anime.
I think they might have had an anime. Oh, come on, man.
Also, I want to blast through this segment because
Yeah.
my news takes forever. So this is what I want
Yes.
to blast through. So I think, and they've made it effective. Whereas when he does die, they don't throw away the moment. They make it
Right.
matter and they make it important to the character. It gets very heavy later on.
So Dark Souls.
It's very very Dark Souls-esque.
Never gonna play.
It's
that
very
game.
excellent. I was actually there was one episode where I was crying at the end because you can just tell you feel for the character. So the main character is so bad, and there's a lot of mystery that hasn't been solved. I'm really glad this is a 25 episode because they've got a lot to wrap up in my opinion.
Oh, so it's still ongoing. then?
Yeah, still ongoing. All these shows are ongoing. They're
Okay.
nowhere near finished.
I hope we see the day of a Gundam.
Say that, but I
50
think a lot
episode
of
one.
them will be reaching like their 10th episode.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yep.
most of them will be finished in like the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And never to be seen again, which is what is right.
Shut up. Moving on to number 2. Jack will be very
Yeah.
pleased. Number 2 is Keys Niver from our saviors known as Trigger. Again, same reasons as RE0. It's extremely effective character show, backed up by some of the best visuals in the block. Trigger, obviously, for the longest time, understands style and how style works. Yeah, they dab.
Yeah.
That's not what I mean.
How do you spell Keys and Iver?
K-I-Z.
K-I-Z-N-A-I-V-E-R.
Yeah. Crunchyroll's put it down as their number 1 for this season as well.
It might actually be German, but like I think
No, it's from 2 Japanese words.
it
One is wound and the other is bond.
sounds
But
very
it's like
German,
a
though.
really forced amalgamation of 2 words, like kizu and like the kizuna, which is I think the first one's wound and the second is bond. So it's a very forced word. But again, excellent characterization, absolutely fabulous style. It also has it's one of those shows where I looked at it and thought, man, the cinematography is actually very good. Like the way they frame shots. the
What
way they
makes
do
an
that
anime good, really?
We could
don't-
just.
don't-
Box
not-
opened.
We're not getting into that. I am slamming the box down. I ain't opening that.
But that's why a butterfly come out.
And also,
Yeah.
You're seeing things again,
it's
Cameron.
also a show that that has a premise in which we've never
Yes.
seen before. It feels extremely original, which is always very refreshing when it's always a lot of adaptations and whatnot.
What's with your hand gestures?
I don't know.
The box is already closed.
box is closed.
What are you doing? Just squeezing it shut.
Squeeze it.
Cork in the
I'm
lid.
throwing that in the ocean. It's just all round excellent, and it's definitely a show very much driven by its excellent characterization and it's understanding that it is slightly bonkers because like there's an episode recently in which they basically do what all the fans do and ship all the characters to try and make their emotions stronger, and it's such a funny episode because there's full of the Trigger nodding winks, and it does continue to prove that Trigger is one of the outstanding animation studios currently working in the scene.
Totally not biased.
Yes.
Could they
Trigger
ruin?
is
Come
the
on, the end
charm.
of Toei animation.
Trigger
time.
have misstepped. I don't say they're perfect. I think they misstepped fairly hard with when Supernatural Battles are
They
commonplace.
fell off the cliff with that.
Yeah, but the problem for me, the problem was that arguably that's an adaptation, so their creativity is limited. So there's only so much you can do. But when they've gone back to doing original stuff like this and Lulaco, which is also in this block, which I don't know if that's original, but it's so
It is an original.
it's so zany. I
By
assume
the
it is.
director of Kill the Co and Girl
Yeah,
Lago.
you can tell, like, obviously.
Trigger, why else?
when they do original stuff, it's just so compelling to watch. So second one is a show which I probably might get flack for because people probably put this quite highly, and I've put it like middle of my list.
Keijuani.
Nope. Do you want me to spoil it? I haven't seen the second season of Keijuani, so it can't be on my list. The third show
Do
is
you want me to show it while we're on
no
air?
Cabineria the Iron Fortress.
Okay.
Because this is the blockbuster. This you almost can't escape it. It's like the behemoth in the back. You can't escape it. It's always looming.
Is that why you've not put it as first? Just because it's got so much hype anyway that was a shine for you?
Reason I kind of didn't put it higher was because almost like spectacle anime is becoming a standard, like trying to be big. I now have a lot more credence with people doing effective character drama because I think that's much more difficult than doing a lot of big action sequences on screen.
But
And
preferably you want both.
I do like both, but that's the one thing this show does well. It actually does quite effective balancing. There are moments where it doesn't, and it kind of stumbles a bit. I also think it does one thing better than its predecessor, Attack on Titan, which is that whereas Attack on Titan, eventually the only note became hopelessness, and you have to submit to that, and there's a very one-note tone, like, there's always... This does a thing where it balances that, like, where you feel like they're in an impossible scenario, but also there's moments of hope in which...
You appear to have opened Pandora's box.
I've opened the edge.
You have a clam in the water tank.
Can I just say, while you've been sitting here talking about quite enthusiastic thing, Lang just sneaked back in. I've been watching behind you, and you sit there and he's going...
It's alright.
Kind of like smiling jovially in the background.
Okay, hang on. Before you carry on, you mentioned Attack on Titan. Is this that new steampunk zombie show?
It's the steampunk train zombie show.
Yeah,
Also,
that
best
one,
show about
epic.
trains ever. And that's the great thing. It also feels epic. Like, everything feels huge and epic in a way which is awesome to watch, but then they also manage... The thing you can do is you can do epic, but then you kind of, like, spiral out and you forget the small stuff. This does quite well of remembering that it has characters it needs to talk about. There's also a guy with a really weird accent in the show in which he's speaking Japanese, but he sounds, like, distinctly American. He's like, when he says, like, English words, like, it's like... Japanese words, and he says steam iron, and it's like I'm pretty sure this is done by a guy who's Western but speaks Japanese very well.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like the tone is better. It has moments of hope. So say if it was Attack on Titan, when they get to a station, it turns out to be safe. In Attack on Titan, it would be another station completely destroyed, and be like, oh. And also the Cabineria, interesting as a foe and as characters. So essentially, they're humans who are half Cabane, half human, but eventually they will know at any moment they can become Cabane, and they don't know why. And it's the idea of ostracization. It's very interesting. It's kind of themes that Eren's character tapped on when he was found out to be a Titan, but they do it a lot earlier, and they make a lot more of a much better
big deal
paranoia point, and it's better. I wouldn't say this is... part of me is hard to say it's a better Attack on Titan, but I like the show more.
I think that's basically because Attack on Titan has that us and them dichotomy.
Yeah.
And Eren is an outlier.
Yeah.
Whereas
This
show...
This is very definitive.
There are three peoples.
But it's definitive early, like they want it to be us and them, but then they bring them in because they realize basically they can't survive without them. Is that
kind of different to God Eaters? Because God Eaters is the same kind of premise.
I haven't watched God Eaters, so I wouldn't know.
Oh.
So
Did you show me God Eaters?
I'll jump to 4 because I'm actually
It's
making
based on
pretty
a
good
game.
progress. I'm quite happy with it. So
It's
number
because we haven't flashed along, you know. I've seen Nathan wanted to talk on a few points. I don't.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that like other Cameron, not Cameron that was talking a lot. If you want to take like a week off, you can just
What?
have a little voice clip that constantly says what I forgot the name of the
What?
anime. You keep
Cage
quoting.
One.
Like every 5
Cage. Be
minutes.
like Vera. Just play this in the background, please. Just Cage One.
We'll have a big tape deck and be like, wait a minute, what about Cage and Warning? Well, Cameron, shut up.
That's nothing
It's
to
good
what
you
we're
should
talking
mention
about.
that.
So number 4, I feel like is both a surprise and not a surprise because I feel like it doesn't. It's slightly underrated as a show to a degree, even though it has pretty good reviews. And that's Bungo Stray Dogs, because there's a lot of criticism in that it's in comparison to a lot of the other shows, its writing isn't as good. But again, this is okay. The whole of this show, it's about a detective agency involved with people who have supernatural abilities called gifts. And
They have gifts.
gifts.
Okay.
Gifts.
No memes.
Gifts.
They're powered by Tumblr memes.
Yeah.
They're called the Social Justice Warriors,
And you will fear
and you
them.
won't want
That's
to
what
mess
we.
with them.
That's what we
No.
call the people on Dublin as well.
And essentially, the main character is a
Yeah.
were-tiger, but because he's so prized, like apparently it's like a very important power, and there's this evil group called the Port Mafia who want to basically sell him.
Yeah.
So he goes into the agency to be
What?
Living or
Pretty
dead.
fast.
both, because apparently
Oh.
he's like just super valuable for
Ju-
reasons yet to be explained.
This is just like Elder Scrolls. There are
And-
were-tigers in that.
And the reason I find it interesting because it's actually a show in which again has excellent action, character, and comedy balance in the same way I thought Kill la Kill did. It's also of same genre. Is that it balances its comedy well, and that when there is comedy in the show, it doesn't feel at all like they're forcing it, which is the point in which you go, just stop doing comedy. I know shows that have done that where they do comedy and it's like, this feels so out of the place.
High School DxD.
High School DxD, and for me,
Just saying.
What's
more-
with your constant attack on High School DxD?
It's-
Yeah?
it's-
It
it's
sells
absolutely
for me-
sells
horrible.
mangas,
For me-
sells DVDs.
for more recently, for me, it was Black Bullet.
Oh.
In where comedy was, they're trying to force it. And I was like, just play this as like a straight shooting, like horrible scenario, but they kept making light of it. It's like, it doesn't work.
Is the straight shooting a joke about the fact there's guns?
No.
Oh.
Only in your
Bad
warped,
joke.
twisted mind.
They have guns.
I find it really like I don't want to
Yeah.
get into a massive High School DxD argument. I think I've had one every single
Yeah.
week I've got on here, but I don't get how you could say that comedy in a show that is basically like 60% etchy, 30% comedy, and then 10% everything else
Plot.
Maybe because
shouldn't have comedy in it.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it shouldn't have comedy. I'm saying
lot of it
when
feels forced.
there are serious moments
No,
happening,
don't touch me.
character development, and then Issei feels a need to talk about tits, I get annoyed.
Yeah.
So to put it into context, that's kind of like doing the exact same thing in the middle of a Titan battle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be quite funny.
And
To you.
Bungo works
Swearing
by
at me
also
across
having
the field.
best- having a great sort of central trio of characters. There are more, and they're also very excellent. The central trio of characters is the main character, who is basically, if a tad overly pathetic, even though he has amazing power. Like, you think, oh, he
Yeah.
just turned into a were-tiger. Later on, he like just gets the limbs, and he's like extremely powerful, and he gets his leg cut off and turns into a tiger. It instantly regenerates. He's
That's cheating, man. He's like the lizard man.
But I think
Spider-Man.
it's about the dichotomy of he is weak and he can't
Yeah.
control himself, but he is insanely powerful, but he just doesn't know, which is almost a trope in it itself. And then
Daniel, what trope is that?
I will come back to you next
it's
week.
also
next term.
he's also flanked by two excellent cast members in Daizai-san, who is basically like another extremely powerful character with
Yeah.
a very interesting backstory, who basically doesn't care and is always talking about wanting to commit suicide in a very jovial way. But it's just,
How can you be jovial about suicide?
because he's like always going to women and is like, oh, you're so beautiful. How about you commit a double suicide with me? It'll be amazing. But no, trust me. In the show, me saying it,
Does it succeed? Does he pick up women from
it's
it?
funny because it never works.
Oh.
He's very funny and very it's part of his character because he's then mirrored by is it Kunikada-kun, which they call him, and he's a very sort of serious, straight-laced character who's basically runs his life by his plan in his notebook. Who also has a power limited by his notebook. So essentially, what he can do is make anything with his notebook,
Right.
as long as it's notebook sized. So he can't make tanks with his notebook. So he can only make very small things. But then it's very interesting.
Oh, so he just draws himself
Doesn't draw, he
a
writes-
brand new expensive Swiss watch.
He writes it. Yeah, exactly. He writes
it-
down what it is.
Hey.
And it also serves
Millionaire.
by being something I don't see very often, which is like a mystery thriller. In that it actually revolves around the mystery of like, okay, having to solve crimes and detective stuff while having the overarching plot of having to deal with the Port Mafia. And it's
The plot.
yeah, genuine plot,
Like, what? You sure? Not Thailand plot kind of plot.
no actual plot.
Mm.
It's not like Black Lagoon levels of crime or violence, but
Ah.
it's still very interesting. There's also very, very good sequences. Like there's a very funny / awesome to watch sequence where they attack the agency, and they go with like the Port Mafia go with like their strongest squad, and they machine gun and bomb the whole place.
And discover it's
And-
the wrong building.
No, and the main character runs to like, oh god, what have I done? Because he asked the Port Mafia leader to basically don't attack the agency, and I'll give myself up. But they obviously betray him, and then he goes to the agency expecting everyone to be dead, and the main Kaneda's like holding some guys like, God, they've ruined our decorating again. We only have this place refurbished. and you see like they've beaten up all these elite units. Like, okay, this kind of tells you two things. The comedy's excellent because it's obviously a dichotomy between the danger thing, but it's also funny because now it's also good because you now realize, okay, the agency isn't actually a joke and it's actually quite a powerful industry. It's like, okay, so it well establishes its points very effectively, and I have a lot of fun with it as well because I'm always laughing most of it. Especially for the main character, because he's like trying to just deal with life while being targeted and trying to get on with his job. So I have a lot of fun with this
Yeah,
show.
I think you made like a good point with what you mentioned just then, was that I think the best sort of comedy is the sort where you get something out of it that isn't entirely isolated to the comedy itself.
Right.
Yep.
Like anyone can write a joke between characters
yeah.
where it sort of fits, but I think it's a lot more important when it tells you something about the setting, about the
Yeah.
characters, about how they feel about each other.
When comedy feels
While still
integral to
being
the plot.
funny.
Do you mean like when it's kind of natural comedy?
Yeah,
Yes.
like you can imagine the people who are in there in that setting doing
Yeah.
that, and it doesn't seem like inconsistent at all or forced. I mean, like forced is a word that people throw around way too much in anime. Like
Whereas when it, basically
only with
when it
absolutely
does-
god
Should we say it's more like jokes that have been slipped in?
Well, no, it's jokes that just feel so out of place in the moment. Like you don't need to make a joke there, or you know the comedy
They
doesn't fit
disrupt the
tone.
flow,
Yes,
basically.
essentially.
You can sit closer if you want to talk in it.
You gonna say something, Tim? Or
What?
you brought forward. I was expecting something on you to say.
I was going to say that a good example of comedy
Yeah.
that fits for me is every time someone calls Edward Elric short.
Yes,
because
yes. Because it tells you about his character and the fact.
I
he
thought
has
it was going to be like a
complex.
Napoleon kind of joke, as in he's like
It
6 foot.
It basically is.
How
Well, no,
how tall is he?
The Napoleon joke is that Napoleon declared war on everybody because they made fun of him, and he had a complex. He was always angry because he was short, but he was actually like average.
Yeah,
he was above
no, he
average
was
of
he
France.
was 6 foot,
No,
and
he's
he's
5'9".
no.
As
Is he?
someone who was shorter
thought
than
it was earlier.
Everyone
Napoleon,
thought he was 5'7", which is below average height. He's actually 5'9", which is above average
cute,
for the
though.
French.
It was British
French at the time.
propaganda, basically.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
as someone who was shorter than Napoleon, if I had an army, maybe
Yeah.
I could see that happening.
I'll take you on, Daniel, with my English tall people army.
I will now.
Above average and average.
I will now move on to my final show,
Screw you,
Everyone
Jack.
can join.
which I feel like again it feels like I might get flagged for because I know people really,
Yeah.
really, really like this show, and I understand. But I think I just preferred these other shows because some of those I haven't seen enough for. They do character very well. But the final show is Boku no Hero Academia because
Not the one that's like there's 100 like this before.
what? No, that's that's called Hundreds. How dare you? This is Boku no Hero. This is Boku no Hero Academia. This is the second big bone show of the one, which
Yeah.
is about the kid who has no power, of no quirk, and is given a power by the most
Yes.
powerful hero in the world, and he has to attend high school for heroes in that kind of Sky High movie that was in like 2000,
Yeah.
which was.
I remember that.
Which was-
Quality.
I don't
Quality.
want to remember that.
But it's like that. But it's like that, and it's.
But
just
25
for-
episodes.
For me, it is this and
Yeah.
another show that does quite well. Is that this is a shonen show, and to me, like shonen show is just the norm. So you can like churn out a shonen, and it will just be accepted as part of it. Oh, it's good because it's a shonen, and shonen's the standard. Shonen's fine. This is an example of where you just be better than the standard. So an analogy I'll use for this is in the modern sort of game industry. So now the sandbox game is standard. Like every game appears to be an open world sandbox. So like you just churn out one. Oh, it's an open world sandbox. It's fine. It's all right.
I thought it was the same as like the zombie kind of thing.
I wouldn't say zombies is everything. Every medium ever.
Yeah, I think like to be more specific, I would say like when Sandbox is talking about sort of open world roaming sandbox like Grand Theft Auto,
Mad
like
Max.
that.
Elder Scroll games.
Lord of the
I would
Rings
say Elder
game.
Scrolls games. Elder
Oh.
Scrolls is an RPG
No.
more than these
Like
other
I'm talking
ones.
about like
Okay.
objective mission roaming in a free
So-
world sort of thing.
Right.
That's
Mad,
like
Mad Max, GTA.
that
those
Lord of
other
the
games.
Rings game. I forgot what it's called. Shadows of Mordor.
Shadows of Mordor.
Yeah.
Though I rather like Shadows.
You
of
mean
Mordor.
Assassin's Creed 2?
Assassin? No, the
Yeah.
the later
From
Assassin's Creed. period.
4 and up, I would say,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I meant like
Not-
there's a
no,
joke
not one,
that
two, and three.
the Shadow of Mordor, the guy who made Assassin's Creed said they're using my same graphics settings from Assassin's
Yeah,
Creed
but
2 on this.
yeah, but I think Shadow of Mordor 2 was better than Assassin's Creed 2
Yeah,
There's
because
actually
they
things going on.
because stuff is going. Also, they have the best or one of the best organic storytelling devices within games recently, which is the Nemesis system.
The Nemesis system is amazing.
So I want to move on quickly because
Okay.
Boku no Hero Academia.
gotta keep drawing you
But
in.
that is a good analogy because Shonen comes out, that's fine, just get it. This is an example of Shonen done very well.
Are you talking?
And with a certain flair and another good emphasis on character. So basically, like for the overarching plot
So,
is he's doing it.
Hold on there, Cameron. The backbenchers are discussing the Joker game.
No, it's fine.
I'll talk about that later when I do honorable
I
mentions.
don't like Joker Game, just to spoil that.
So,
Yeah.
the great thing is that while you have this overarching plot of him attending school, the main two sort of central arcs that I seem to identify was
Yes.
Midoriya, the main character, basically overcoming like years of being like put down for wanting to be a hero despite having no power, and also then his problem with having a power that is too strong for him, like his body literally can't sustain it, so he has to be very selective. So there's a really good episode where he has to do like training, and he literally doesn't fight his I say best friend. He was his best friend, but basically turned into the biggest asshole of humankind.
Just saying, Daniel, I'm already there. We're still friends.
And he has to fight him.
Why do I put up with you?
He has to fight him, but he only uses...
Because we're best friends.
He doesn't want to punch him, so he works out an interesting thing. So he has to...
Yeah.
And then that's it. The other thing is his relationship with his... I use best friend, because essentially that's what he feels, but he's not... He's basically his rival / best friend. And it's a very interesting relationship they have.
Yes.
I'm getting a Light and L vibe here.
No, not quite,
No,
because
basket.
because the thing
What,
is,
they kissed at the start?
because Light and L have no history. These characters have history with each other.
Sexual tension history.
And Light and
Can we stop shipping?
What?
For Midoriya and I think he calls him Kachan. Kachan is technically superior for most of the show for most of the backstory because he has a power and Midoriya does not. But then it comes to the point when Midoriya shows he has a power which he can't tell anyone about and how he got it, where Kachan feels tricked into feeling that actually Midoriya is the stronger one, but he spent all this time making him look like an idiot.
See, I can't help contrasting that to One Punch Man and the relationship between Saitama and Genos. Yeah,
It's kind of the
But the
similar,
fact that
but-
Genos is really crap in comparison.
No,
but
Genos
actually
actually
can do
Genos
math.
is actually amazing.
Genos is
No, I
amazing.
just-
He just can't one punch things.
Yeah, Genos is amazing. One Punch Man basically does.
Yeah, but
basically,
One Punch Man is he created the whole idea for the academy, isn't it? Because he saved
No,
that
he
one.
didn't.
No,
What are you
remember?
talking about?
Okay, do you remember the whole thing about that rich kid he saved right at the start?
Yeah, but he didn't create it.
Yeah, but it led to it, wasn't
He-
it? Because
yeah,
he was
but-
like the first hero.
Yeah, but it's not his creation. If it was his creation, it'd make more sense. But it's not. That doesn't work.
No, but I mean in the sense that he saved someone rich kid.
indirectly.
If it was his
Yeah.
creation, the other heroes would constantly bag on him all the time.
No, they bag him because they don't know the truth, man.
You
They
just
can't
want to
handle
be
the truth,
conspiracy
man.
theorist, Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I very much.
I broke Tim.
I very much like Boku no Hero Academia because
Yeah.
it's just excellent showing its bones once again. So obviously you know their art is going to be fantastic. Their animation is going to be great. They kind of showing things, but to a degree they make me laugh. Like obviously he gets paired with a girl character very early, and he's never really talked to girls before because he's quirkless, so no one cares. And he's kind of very embarrassed, like, oh, she's talking to me. How do I talk to her back? It's kind of like it's endearing, funny, but
Like a
obviously.
normal person.
Yeah,
If you would like to
it's-
know, check out our Valentine's.
Midoriya is very earnest, and you can just connect with him because you kind of feel what he's going through to a degree. Obviously, you don't have superpowers; no
Yeah.
one does. But you can.
That you know of.
That you know.
Yeah.
Just say.
Look around this room, brother.
He's a very lovely, earnest character. And again, the cast around him works very well. Like I can literally, especially because their powers, I can easily identify them. They're not all lost in the crowd, so it works. It balances its main cast very well. And I'm very interested to see where it's going to go from now because obviously they've recently just had an episode where a bunch of villains interrupt their training. So it's obviously that's a very quick escalation moment, which will be very interesting to see and
that's
very
cool.
interesting to watch.
They did a similar arc to that in Bleach, I
Yeah.
think, but
Yeah.
that was for. Also, now that I mentioned One Punch Man, and I have the theme stuck in my head.
One punch. There you go.
that was way too high-pitched.
Oh.
Well, I'm not going to start singing openings now.
Yeah, so that's a nice segue into soundtracks.
Well, not yet. I've got.
Oh my gosh.
Apparently not.
Sorry,
No,
I'll just
apparently
blast
not.
through them because obviously there are shows I haven't mentioned, but there are shows I enjoyed. So I've got like 3 honourable mentions, which I won't
Yes.
go in depth with at all. So the first one was Flying Witch, which I just started watching, and I like it because it actually contrasts very well with the rest of the shows I'm watching. It's very light-hearted, very fluffy, very nice to watch, very
But
relaxing to
like,
watch.
I think when you say fluffy, it isn't moe.
It's not
at
moe.
all.
I meant
Like,
fluffy is it's just
Yeah,
light
it's
watching.
It's like you're not burdened with any emotional.
You don't need to think for
It's
this.
it's just nice and lovely to watch and very relaxing.
Have you checked to see if there's any secret messages hidden in it?
No, there's none.
There are no- like I'd say the only secret message is that
Yeah.
the child character in it, Chinatsu, she does a lot of stuff when she's not the focus of the frame.
Oh,
if
yeah. It's very funny.
If
to
you're
watch.
watching
Yeah.
Flying Witch, keep it like on a frame where Chinatsu, the kid, isn't the focus of the frame. Just look at her and see what she's doing, because like she'll often be doing things that are funny.
Second show is a short, which I think is
Gajawani?
No, no, I haven't watched it. It's Space Patrol Luluco.
Oh.
Because that proves that shorts can be. Obviously, for the longest time,
Yeah.
I know there are shorts that prove this, but now for
Send
me
you.
recently,
Just say.
Yeah.
yeah, shorts that have proven that it's a viable.
Hetalia.
and it works very well.
No.
It works very well for zany comedy.
shorts.
Zany comedy is
Oh.
an excellent thing as an excellent format for shorts. You can kind of blast out it very quickly, and it's all very crazy, and it works very well.
And it's also very shaft-like.
It reminds me.
Shaft, I'm speaking of.
It reminds Trigger. It's very Trigger.
We'll get so well. There's no
I
swear.
sum it up basically. If
£20 in the box.
Marco Monka show was allowed to write a show,
Yeah.
that's the kind of insanity you should prepare yourself for. It's fantastic. Absolutely love it.
Also, the art is fantastic. I
Yeah,
really adore it.
it's that very Kill la Kill style of
Yes.
art. It's excellent. The final one, which you're gonna hate me for, but I still enjoyed it. It is Joker Game. I enjoyed it, and I know we have grievances with it this show, but overall, it's still
Historical problems.
it's still a very interesting thriller, spy thriller, which again
Yeah.
a genre which I don't see a lot of these days, and it's also a great example of a show where the main character is not completely incompetent at what the ever.
All
hell
the
he's
main
doing.
characters.
It does well with its intrigue.
Yeah.
It keeps you interested, even if it's not historically accurate. It doesn't have to be. It's an adaptation. Once you don't have to like constantly stab it in his face. I understand I understand it
I'll
definitely.
throw
has,
cards at it instead.
it definitely has problems. I'm not gonna die. It has issues.
Yeah.
But I think its intrigue and to a degree its character kind of gets over it.
Yeah.
But it's still not. That's why I didn't put it as one of the top shows. It's just an interesting show to watch, and I do enjoy it.
I'll give it credit for one thing. It does atmosphere very
Yes.
well.
Yes.
It's very excellent. It's very, very good. But I wouldn't say it was like outstanding. I'd just say if you have time, it may
Yeah.
be something.
I
you could
mean, I
consider.
think I'm on episode 8. Go on, you're gonna say something, Nathan.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, this is basically me segueing into my sections.
Which
and
is
we
now
are now
perfect, 'cause I'm done.
Yeah, because you said
B-
atmosphere.
Before we
and,
segue
like,
into you, we're gonna have to put music on at some point.
Oh.
I also want to hear what the backbenchers have to say briefly, because they obviously were discussing Joker Game earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Backbenchers.
I was just saying that it finally started having an actual plot that wasn't
Yeah.
just
Oh.
loose episodes.
And I'm gonna say that I really want to talk to the director because I really
Yes.
hate how it's directed.
So the plans we had to do there is we go to the Japanese society and we learn how to speak Japanese, and
And
then
then
we
we
write in
send-
kanji.
I'll send him an email saying that you can do interesting things with your shots because it's not shot very well.
It's quite static.
Yeah, it's so
Look,
boring.
I
to
think
look at.
we have to sort of split the effort in that case because
Yeah.
Japanese is very long and very hard to learn.
We'll all
so
take a sentence each.
like,
You know,
no,
the
we'll
person
all
probably
learn
has
like
someone.
a single character of like kanji or
Kanji.
katakana
The person probably has
or
someone in his
hiragana
company who speaks English.
or whatever. There's way too many
Yeah.
variations ending with ana
You
for
know,
Japanese.
maybe we should just go on a massive campaign process. Let's all go on holiday to Japan in a couple of months' time.
I can't afford it. I'm already going on holiday in 8 days.
That's okay. We'll treat it like a 1118, isn't it? We'll bill someone else.
It's an international moment. So
yeah,
we
well-
need to make anime, not shit.
We need to, we'll have to go to the British Embassy to declare this a huge problem for international relations.
Go to the
Japan,
foreign
stop
office.
sending us shows with terrible direction and plot that doesn't happen for 7 episodes.
You just see the foreign office official just shakes his head and goes, "You're quite right. We have a lot of budget left over.
No,
Go, guys!
Go to Obama. Go to Obama.
He
He's
pay
been,
benefit these days.
he's been in anime. He knows our plight. He knows our plight. Hot dogs. Hot dogs.
I think it's quite interesting that, to my knowledge, no one is making anime about David Cameron. That says something, doesn't
Well, says he's European.
You'd only be involved with hentai.
Yeah.
Pig hentai.
Okay.
Pig-based hentai.
Okay, that makes more sense.
There you go. I had to clear it up for you,
We're
Daniel.
sexualizing David Cameron.
No, we're just saying the European Union is not really included.
No studio. How excellent their director could ever sexualize
It's
David
like
Cameron.
that story about-
He's like a sexual vacuum where he absorbs sex into others. It
Yeah.
just disappears.
It's
It
like
just
that story
disappears
about,
from the atmosphere.
It's like
What?
that story about the woman who looks like Ted Cruz is going to be in a porno, apparently.
What?
Nice.
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
What's it?
Mira's like,
There was a woman.
I'm down.
There is a woman who looks quite like Ted Cruz.
Is she the Zodiac killer?
Probably. The crazy evangelical.
We need to
ex-Republican
avoid
candidate.
political memes now.
Because I was going to talk about. You see that Game of Thrones
We
Trump
have a
one.
segment that we need
Okay.
to get into.
But
Yes,
let's put the music on first.
Yeah, what music are we putting on?
Well, say
Don't
whatever
say
music you
womanizer.
like, but I think you know what's going on.
Well, yeah.
But,
What?
I'll switch it out later.
He's gonna swap it out later.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna think. Damn, I need to pick something quick.
I have.
Everyone, talk about random crap.
I have. Oh no, we'll
Yeah.
get sued for that.
We've
damn
been
it.
doing that for an hour.
Damn it! I have.
Oh.
I was gonna say,
It's
I have
actually
stuff
not
from
been an
the,
hour. Oh, it has.
I have.
It
Damn.
has it?
I have
No.
stuff from the what's the movie called? Oh my god, Mononoke soundtrack. I literally have the Mononoke soundtrack. Probably get sued for that. So,
What we do is we put on piano covers and people's covers.
Just put on
of
anything
them?
by Lee and Lai. And
Who's
never
that?
get sued ever.
What have they done?
They do loads of covers of anime openings. And
Bless
it's all
you.
covers.
Alright, I
It's
don't
all
know if
covers.
there's
It's
actually
all
a-
their own music. They basically just do it in the same
Fine. I
style.
don't know if there's a cover of it, but I'm just going to say Sprinter by Calafina, which is a song from Kara no Kyokai. I don't know.
Put on boom,
Okay.
put on
Don't know if
boom,
there's a
boom
cover for
satellites,
it.
lay on me. Boom boom satellites, lay on me.
Okay, this is that
Song.
song.
By Sony again.
Well, that press
Except
button.
it won't be for us.
I don't hear anything, but I
Yeah.
believe so.
Sad news about Boom Boom Satellites.
What's that?
That's going to be their last release, the Kids Neither opening.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Sudden random news. What do we call that? Instant news?
Random segment.
What do you call it when it's like crisis
Breaking
news?
news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news which happened 2 days ago.
Oh, well, it takes some time to ship through over here.
Besides, if you only do
Yeah.
it in the news once a week,
Yeah, they
it's
just
still
stuff a
breaking
little
news.
Japanese man into
Yeah.
a crate.
Just ship them over. Guys, I unboxed the news this
And
morning.
he's like, breaking news.
News. Okay, so on it goes.